J-Drone here. We're back with this Airhawk drone. Again, the guts are 010. I had somebody ask me about the connection. That's the connection, man, and it's just heat tape or heat shrink tape that I crudely applied there, but it's that connection to a lossy type connection that I have open. That way I can connect more than a lossy. That way if I wanted to connect those red ones, I'd be able to connect the red connection as well. I believe that's JST connection. So I have two different batteries here. I have an 850 milliamp an hour and I have a 1000 milliamp an hour. We're gonna try the 1000. It's not gonna fit in normally, but this is pretty cool. Check it out. It will fit in just like that, and it is secure. So what we are going to do, we are going to plug this in. Again, make sure your positive is with positive and negative is with negative, especially when you have an open plug, kind of like I do here. We got red blinking in the back, we got blue blinking in the front off of the stock board, and we're just going to put that wire there. And we are going to turn on the jumper, turn it on. We are bound, we are ready to go. I'm gonna do one more thing. I'm gonna turn my rates down to 100% as opposed to 125%. So we're gonna go into mixers here. We're gonna go into simple, we're gonna go down, and we are gonna just adjust this to 100%. And then we need to go back up and click save. We're gonna do this to the aileron and go down, adjust that so it says 100, and you need to click save. If you click back, it won't save. Throttle, we're going to do the same thing too. We're going to adjust that down to 100 just to kind of conserve on the battery, because it's getting short flight times and it could have been a combination of a bunch of things. I would like a 5-minute flight time minimum. That way I could do a FPV run on this. Let's see here, and we are at 100 and we are going to click save. So here we go. We're going to take off and we are going to do a flight test. 1000 milliamp an hour battery on this modded drone here. We are going to go up. Has zero issues lifting it. And again, you can see, we'll bring it back here. I'm barely moving these sticks. Here, I'll try to pinch to show you. Barely moving these sticks, and this thing is doing what I want it to. Obviously, if I move them a lot heavier, it's going to go into a heavier pitch. We're going to bring this over here. Just want to look underneath it. Easy wobbles. Not dealing with a whole lot of wind here, but it does seem that when it comes down a little bit quick, it wants to wobble a little bit. And my JST connector came out of the leg, which is fine. So it's a little bit wobbly, guys. Could be, it is a little bit windy, I guess. Where I'm standing, it doesn't feel windy. I got this garage blocking over here and a house blocking as well. This is a really docile flight, guys, because again, what I'm doing here is trying to get a rough idea on time that this can fly basically out. That way I could throw FPV goggles on, I could throw AIO camera on and take it out for a range run, which again will simulate how far the 010 can go. Yeah, it's windy. That wind is pushing this around. Easy, easy, easy. Yeah, where I'm standing, there's like next to no wind. I get out there and the drone wants to climb, it wants to be pushed around a little bit. Yeah, I can feel it against my back now, but we will go ahead and pitch a little bit heavier. Easy. Lucked out on not hitting those wires. I was not being attentive to my surroundings. We are still not blinking out, which is good. That is definitely good. So this might be it. 1000 milliamp an hour battery. I'm trying to keep an eye on the light underneath. There's a red light right by my connection, and again, that's just the stock light from the 010's board. I didn't connect any of the arm lights because again, that's going to draw power, and I really don't need added drawn power on this. We want optimal flight time. And yesterday with the, I believe maybe like a 500 milliamp an hour and a 600 milliamp an hour, they were older batteries too. I wasn't getting great flight times, and I was also operating off of 125% throttle, 125% everything, which may have resulted in short flight time as well. That wind is pushing us. This is such a light drone, man. even with the 1000 mAh battery on it. And again, I'm just looking under here, make sure we're not blinking. We are not blinking, and that wind wants to push it. Now we are flying directly into the wind. Bam. So the wind switched direction. It was blowing. Easy there, buddy. We're back up. Let's see. And yeah, that's just a combination of this being a light drone and wind, because we are not blinking yet, man. I'm kind of like backpedaling against it. Can't get a windless day. I can't get a windless day to really test this drone. I'd like to really test this drone. And I don't see that red light blinking yet, man. 1000 mAh might be the key for this. And again, it's still 3.7 volt. I don't suggest anybody throwing a 2-cell and a 3.7 volt drone. I've done it and it actually burnt out a quarter of the board. I have a video on that. I think I used maybe black AVX. Easy there, buddy. Yeah, so you really need to be precision on the sticks with this, so to say, because if I come down too heavy, it'll wobble. If I pitch way too hard forward, it'll come down entirely too quick, and I guess the motors don't have that type of recovery time on it. But again, I'm not looking to sport fly this. I'm looking to do a range test with this, and time is an issue. I need this to have a good flight time. That way I know, hey, and there's the wind blowing at it again. That way I know I can go out for 2.5 minutes and maybe have 2.5 minutes to get back. Because I don't think I'm going to be able to hit max range. I don't think I've ever hit max range with a jumper, but I think we're going to try to go for like half a mile. Try to go for half a mile with this drone, which is again the 010's board. Damn, there's a good look at it. So this modification came in steps, man. This modification definitely came in steps. We tested it out. It took a little while to get the motor synced up and on the right part of the board. And then yesterday I did 2 runs with 2 different batteries and got really short flight times. Right now we are still not blinking out. I got a 1000 mAh battery in it, which might be key. The other battery that I have in my pocket, I believe, is like a 800 some odd mAh. It might be good. It might be good for this, but I figure go big or go home, right? Might as well try the big one and make sure and see what happens. If I still got a short flight time, then we would try the smaller one, because maybe weight would be an issue then. But as you can see, weight is definitely not an issue. The Striker from World Tech Toys, I think I ran that for almost a half an hour, or it was the Quadrone Pro Cam, and I ran 2 batteries. I put 2 batteries on it. We're still not blinking, which is excellent, man. That is excellent. I don't know what type of flight time we're looking at here. I'll try to, I don't know that I can steady this because of the wind. Easy, wobbling. Does not like the wind, I will say that. So maybe I should have did this with a more wind durable drone, a little bit heavier drone as far as putting the board in, because this thing gets blown around by the wind pretty hard. What we're going to do, we are just going to lightly hover here. I'm going to control it. I want to look at the time. We are 8 minutes and counting. So whatever the setup time was, which was me jabberjawing, we can subtract that from this. I'm going to bring it back. I want to look at those lights again. I want to see if they are blinking. If they are not blinking, we found the battery for this. I mean, even if they are blinking, this is considerably longer flight time than we got yesterday. It's not blinking, man. It's not blinking. We're going to continue to fly this. And again, this is not an aggressive flight. It's not a hover test by any means, because I'm fighting wind constantly with this, and I am moving around. I'm not just keeping it at one area, but it is definitely not an aggressive flight whatsoever. A chill flight, I would like to say. I'm going to call this a chill flight. Now we are blinking. I got a blue light that's blinking in the front, and the red, I'm sure, is blinking in the back as well. They blink simultaneously with one another. Still got power. Watch the power lines, J-Drone. Wobbling. Captain Wobbles. Easy there, buddy. Still got a little bit of juice left. We're gonna fly it till it won't fly no more. That way I have an accurate assessment on time here. Obviously the voltage in the battery is getting low to the point where it could not recover the mild wobbly issue. And I'm thinking maybe a different set of props on this. Maybe a longer set of propellers on this will cut that wobbling out. I don't know. Or just more precise controls on my part. What up, drone? Damn, look, altitude hold. Not really. I mean, it's staying in general vicinity. Still going here, guys. This right here is a good battery. It's a good battery, and it's seeming to be a perfect fit for this drone, as opposed to where a 500 milliampere was not. And again, really chill flight. I'm not hard pitching this. I'm not aggressively flying this because I'm not going to be doing that during my FPV run. My FPV run is going to be a straight line out and a straight line back. So that's, again, what I'm assessing here. And we are still able to go up here. Took a couple tests, man. These are toys. If you're going to modify them, don't be dissatisfied with the first test you run. If the first test you run does not par up to what you were expecting, figure out why. Figure out what you wanted and how to get that. It is possible. I mean, I've been messing around with toy grade quads forever, and I've been doing some pretty impressive things with toy grade quads with very little to do. Nope, we're still going. And again, I have a wind to my back. If that wind wasn't to my back, this would be flying a lot better than what it is. Easy there, buddy. Easy, easy, easy. With low voltage now and that wind, it is definitely pushing it around. I still have control of it. I can still go up. We are going up a little bit. And as we come down, I'm full throttle up. It's trying to recover. It's trying to recover. As you can see, it touched the ground. This thing should basically auto land. Not that it has that feature and that the 010s had that feature, but just the voltage on the battery, it should slowly bring it down to the point where I can no longer throttle up, which I'll show you. I can throttle up, but coming down, it's going to come down a lot quicker than it normally would unless you control it. Like right now, I'm full throttle up and it came down, and there we go. I'm full throttle up and it's basically sitting on the ground here, guys. Guys, I'm J-Drone. If you have not subscribed, please do. This is definitely the battery for this drone. This drone still does not like wind whatsoever. Where are we at here? We're at 14 minutes with the wind up. The wind up couldn't have been more than a minute. 13-minute flight, possibly 12. We'll see when the ticker, you'll see it on the playback. So click start when the motors fire, click end when the motors end, and you'll get the flight time. Guys, I'm J-Drone. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And now I got another battery that I could put in another drone and just give you another review later.